Hello and welcome to my third speech in my persuasive speeching class for my semester in college. So retirement, as we all know, is very important. And sometimes we say, well, we got 30 or 40 years down the road we can save for retirement, no big deal. I don't need to save for that now. 401k, I can't contribute to that now. I barely can pay my bills, right? Many people do not take advantage of the opportunities that they're given in order to save for retirement, either because they believe it's a long way off, or they simply just can't afford to contribute to the cause. Well, this is not a good approach to saving for your retirement. As Earl Graves says, you just cannot afford not to save for retirement. According to a survey taken in 2004 by the Trans-America Center for Retirement Studies, the number one barrier for people not saving for retirement is saying they have other financial priorities that they need to meet instead. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 66% of the people in the workforce have retirement options available to them. However, only 49% actually participate in these benefits. There are two main types: defined benefits and defined contribution. Defined benefits used to be the norm. Now that's where the employee basically has a pension plan, and they basically build retirement for you as you work for them. The longer you work for them, the more you get at the end. That's not so much the case anymore. There is still out there, and about 18% of employers offer that. Out of that 18%, only 15% of people actually participate. The other, defined contribution, is what we have now mostly, which is where the employee pays for most of their retirement. 61% of employers offer this type of benefit, and only 43% actually participate. Now, as stated in the opening, there seems to be a valid reason for not making retirement savings a priority. Not making enough money, it's a long ways off, and believing that you have a lot of time to save. Once you retire, you're going to need to have a lot of money, because most of us want to continue to live and thrive in society. Relying on Social Security is not going to be enough. If you plan on being active or traveling or doing something in retirement, you're going to need to compensate for that. And you need to do that while you're in the workforce right now. According to the Trans-America Center, only 4% of people in the workforce are actually concerned about what they may have for retirement. So when should you do this? Right now. Start as soon as you can. Financial planner Wes Moss says, saving for retirement is a marathon and not a sprint. Parents should also instill in their children the importance of saving. But they need to make sure they're saving as well so they don't become a burden to their children when they get older. Now there's many ways you can do this. I'm going to focus on 3 of those. First is a 401k. You put your money into a 401k. It's one of the smartest ways to save for retirement. Most employers offer a 401k, and most employers will actually match a contribution of yours up to a certain percent. So let's say that your employer matches up to 3% of what you put in. That's 3% of free money that your employer is willing to give you. You should take advantage of this as soon as possible to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success in the future. Now, most employers make you wait at least a year before you can set up for a 401k. The second are traditional and Roth IRAs. IRAs are beneficial if your employer does not offer a 401k, but there's one major difference between a traditional Roth IRA and a Roth IRA, and that big difference is being taxes. On a traditional IRA, you don't pay taxes until the money is dispersed, whereas the money you put into a Roth IRA has already been taxed. However, if you choose to withdraw your money from an IRA before you're 59 and a half, you will have to pay some penalties. With a traditional IRA, you'll have to pay the taxes on the money plus a 10% penalty. With a Roth IRA, you don't have to pay a 10% penalty, but you will have to pay the taxes that your money has accrued on the interest that your money has accrued while it's been in that IRA. And lastly, you have a traditional savings account. If you can set aside 20% of your income and put it into a high interest savings account, this is the best option that you have available, because you can use that money whenever you want, and there's no penalties or burdens on that at all. I have here a chart to kind of give you an idea of what it's like to have some savings. So if you can get close enough so you can see this. So here, this is a 30-year span. This was taken an average of $40,000 salary throughout 30 years. So that's assuming you're not going to get any raises or anything. And then an 8% return annually on each of these things. So as you can see here, they start very low. This is our amount saved in the thousands, going from $30,000 to $390,000. So with your traditional savings account, after about 30 years, you're looking at $272,000 saved. With a 401k, you're looking at almost $380,000 saved, and then with an IRA, $245,000 saved. So there's definitely benefits in putting money aside and being able to save for retirement. With the 401k, this was a contribution of 5% a month of your salary into your 401k. So you actually only put in $60,000 in 30 years, and the employer actually contributed $36,000. So you can see what it turns into. The savings was 20% of your paycheck each month went into savings, and then the IRA was also 5% contribution from your paycheck. All right, so I want you guys to close your eyes and picture yourself at retirement age. What do you see? Where do you live? How much money do you have? Well, we all want to be able to retire comfortably. We want to not have to worry about how we're going to make the mortgage payment or the car payment. And I would bet that for most of us, we probably want to travel and see the world. I mean, we're going to have a lot of time on our hands, right? Well, according to Donald J. Korn in his article, Recipe for a Rich Retirement, whatever your retirement dream is, it's going to cost a lot of money. And most financial planners suggest that you save at least 20% of your yearly income. However, if you can't do that much, then at least do 10%. If you're closer to retirement age, obviously you're going to need to try and save more. There's no way to tell exactly how much money you're going to need for retirement because there's a lot of variables that come into play. Not saving for retirement is not an option. We must be proactive. Many people do not understand how much money they're actually going to need in retirement. We can all agree that we want to retire at the great age of 62 or 65. And then we want to be able to come home from that last day of work and say, finally, I did it. I'm free. But how do we get there? We have to be intentional about saving. If you're not currently saving for retirement, that needs to be the first thing you do. Next time you get to work, figure out what type of options your work has. Next, you need to try and talk to a financial planner. Get some advice on the best options for you to save money. Lastly, be proactive. No one's going to save for retirement for you, so you got to do it on your own. In conclusion, saving for retirement is one of the most important things we can do as an adult. We need to be prepared to care for ourselves when we get older in retirement age. Thinking about the future has to be on the forefront of our minds at all times. Being intentional with our finances now can set us up for success in the future. Remember, as Earl Graves said, you just can't not afford to save for retirement. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to have everybody come up now so I can prove that I had 5 people watching. Please.
5 3/4.
Oh, that's cute.
Be careful. All right, is everybody in the screen?
Yep. Pop's getting there a little bit more.
Come in close.
Are we in it? There we go.
Okay.
Right to the camera.
Thank you.
Yay!
Me and my swollen mouth.
Oh, why is it
I'm in the middle of a
Should we get it?
retreat root canal.
Oh, geez.